Team Fortress 2 used to be serious, and as of late, because of Wokeshop items and many other problems in the community, Team Fortress 2 has stopped being serious, and now it is silly. So, this is a big problem because Team Fortress 2 was my childhood. I started playing it in 2025, and yeah, I mean, TF2 really meant a lot to me, and it's really sad to see how the Pyro, one of my favorite characters in fiction, has gone from being Sigma to being silly and questionable. Thing number one that upsets me about TF2 and this silliness problem that I really do not like and that we really need to put an end to is how workshoppers have started making items that are silly for the classes, even though they never really were silly to begin with, and that is a massive problem and an issue that needs to be solved, and Valve needs to lock in and do something about this because otherwise I'm going to fucking crash out all over the place. If we look at Meet the Pyro, you will see that, well, evidently, Meet the Pyro was very serious. It's dark, it's Sigma. I can make a lot of Sigma edits off of that, and that would get really popular online. But you just have to cut out the parts where it goes into a crazy little wacky wonderland, because that's silly and we don't want that in TF2. That's not what TF2 is about. TF2 is about crazy, psychotic, scary Sigma killers who do bad things. And even though the comics make them do stuff, that's only because Valve folded after workshoppers started making them silly, and the silliness took over, and because of that, that's a problem that we need to work on. And the game is too silly, it's not okay, it's a bad game. And because of that, really, I can't play it anymore, I can't enjoy it anymore. And it didn't used to be that way. It really didn't used to be that way. When I started playing the game in January 2025, I swear it didn't used to be that way. Back in the OG days, the characters, they used to be so much more like Sigma and a lot more serious than all of this. But that's what I don't understand, is that if the characters used to be so much more serious, what happened? Well, what happened is Workshop. So they started making these items that are silly for the characters, right? And because of that, Valve then started saying, well, okay, well, we'll put the items in the game, and we'll give them money because, they can do the work for us, and all of that. But what Valve didn't know is that it made the game stupid and not Sigma at all. And where that really causes issues is that if the game becomes too silly, then, we're left with nothing. And even though I started playing in January 2025, I remember the good old days. I was there when they still had the 11th class, the 12th class, all these things that I definitely know about because I was also an OG. I was there from the very start, and it's just a really big shame that they've just started making the game lame and not cool anymore because because of big workshop, and it's all happening all the time. And it's crazy as well because they've really tarnished the Pyro as a character. The Pyro used to be mysterious, dark, and edgy and evil, but now I've installed so many mods in my game that I just can't recognize the Pyro anymore. There's weird jiggle physics going on my Pyro, and I don't know. I mean, I had to install the mods, sure. I wasn't forced or whatever, but really, I mean, when I saw the page on Game Banana, I just had no choice but to click download and then install it, and now Pyro is just ruined. I mean, this isn't even Pyro, this is something else entirely, but I just can't stop looking at it. And I mean, I'm saying it as well because pronouns are evil, and we all know that. And I will never refer to a character whose gender is ambiguous as they, because that's plural. And I did learn that in grammar. I did a lot of grammar, and I learned that that means plural, and has never and ever in history, or still to this day, ever been used to qualify a single person. So I will never refer to Pyro as that. But anyway, yeah, those mods really ruined everything, and at the end of the day, a workshopper was probably behind it. I don't know, I just kind of figured it out from word to mouth that it was probably the case. But yeah, you know, like it's really a shame because the game used to be so Sigma, it's so serious, and like when you look at the sniper as well, like, as a character, like sure in the comics, like he gets like fucking butt ass naked and he drives a plane or whatever the fuck's going on there, but really, if when you look at it seriously, you know, you're not supposed to like laugh when like in Meet the Sniper he's on the phone with his parents and he's like arguing and trying to like reason that like the reason why he's like doing this job is that it's actually humane, and he's like, you know, constantly trying to justify to himself that it's like what he's doing is like fine and normal and that he's normal, but he's really not. You know, there's no humor in that. It's like Sigma and bad. And badass, actually. So yeah, next time you think of voting for a TF2 item that's a little too silly, maybe think about it again and don't do it. Never vote for any TF2 item. And yeah, if you see the Pyro, a massive jiggling like physics mod, just like don't install it. You know, it's a dark pit that I've fallen into, and like there's really no way out. And yeah, I mean, for most of the classes they really were never silly ever, and the silly epidemic of silliness that is plaguing TF2, clawing at it from the inside because of evil player base and fan content. Oh my god, I can't believe it, right? Anyways, so you know, the heavy was never silly. Let's get this fucking straight, okay? The heavy was never silly. Sure, he like laughs a lot when he shoots at this gun at people, and he calls people babies, and he's a big Russian dude, and he gives his minigun a cute name, and he heals after eating a full sandwich, and then Valve released Meet the Sandwich, and there's a lot, you know, he's not silly, he's fucking Sigma! He's a Sigma! But anyways, right? TF2 is fucking serious. So, the heavy, he was always serious, he was always a Sigma, he was always fucking for real, and I don't want to hear anything that he was not. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments saying, no, the heavy was not serious because he used to do finger guns or something like that, and then later Valve was like, that'd be really funny if he could kill people, but no! Woke workshoppers did this to the heavy, and I will not stand for this. I will not stand for this. The game didn't used to be this way. I remember back when I was playing in January of 2025, the game didn't used to be this way. I'm an OG. I was there from the start. And we'll bring the game back to the glory days. We'll bring it back to the glory days because those woke fan artists on Twitter, they've ruined the image of all these characters for me. I cannot look at the Scout anymore with a straight face. I cannot. I just get depressed. And if I see anybody making lesbian fan art of Miss Pauling and the administrator, I gotta calm down. But anyway, guys, this silliness epidemic is really hitting TF2 hard, and I think we need to do something about it. I've had enough of being quiet on this issue, and I think TF2 being silly is bad. I don't think it's okay. I think it was never silly to begin with, or at least it's not what Valve wanted. Despite the fact that Valve made like a lot of funny, humorous shorts to introduce their characters, and that it's all aligns in their like dark comedy following Half-Life, TF2 is a game about Sigma Chads shooting each other because they're twisted psychopaths. Okay? And I don't get why all the community seems to think that, oh no, the Scout is a silly guy from Boston. No, he's not. He's a Chad who gets all the girls. Okay? And he has actually a sick and twisted backstory where he grew up alone, he was in an orphanage, he burned it down, he killed a bunch of people. Only when he was 7, he was sent to wars all around the world. And yeah, I mean, like, TF2 was never meant to be silly. Fuck! I don't know what else to say, man. TF2 was just never meant to be silly. It's really pissing me off to, like, think about how some people just, like, have the nerve to even insinuate that, like, you know, like stuff like, the spy snorts when he laughs. No! That doesn't make him silly. He's fucking twisted in the head. But anyway, right, this was my essay video on why TF2 is actually not silly and we should not allow it to be silly. Remember to harass a workshopper today, and thanks for watching.